There we go. Okay. All right. So I recorded it. It's going to be pretty fast. So because it's got a lot of information, but here we go.
Is there audio?
There should be. Okay. So something's not right. Let's see.
There should be a way to make sure the desktop's voice sound comes through.
Share sound. Okay, maybe that'll work. Okay, let's see now. Let me know.
Hello, everyone. First,
right.
I want to thank you for coming and
Okay,
give you a
great.
little background about me. My name is Anthony Rodriguez. I was born and raised in Orlando, Florida. I have a music degree from the University of Florida. I lived in Japan for 2.5 years, and after coming back to the States, I decided to pursue voice acting and directing. I've been doing it for over a year, but my background in theater and music has helped me a lot. I'm currently a casting director and voice director at Amberstone Studios as well as Paradox Palette Studios. Okay, so now on to the topic of today's presentation. How to find VAs for your project. There are a few sites that you can use that have a significant number of amateur and professional VAs searching for auditions and work. Not only are there websites, but you can easily utilize social media to get your project out there in the eyes of VAs who are eager to work alongside you and provide you with good quality audio. Of course, this means you will have people from all levels that you'll have to sift through, but you'd be surprised how many talented and quality people there are who would love to voice in your project. One of the best places you can go to is a site called Casting Call Club. The website is castingcall.club. CCC is an awesome resource that I think all indie developers should be using to find talent, even if it's unrelated to voiceover. You can find artists, audio engineers, video editors, etc. On this site, you can put up your project and all the characters you're looking to have voiced. It's very simple. After creating an account, just hit create project and then select searchable listing and follow the instructions. You can add as much or as little detail as you would like about your project and characters. I suggest giving as much info as you are comfortable with about both the project and characters so that the actors can have a clear idea on what exactly it is you want. However, if you make it too long, chances are people won't read it all. Another great site is Voice Acting Club. I'm not as familiar with this one, but you can go on the forums and post your project details there. And another one to check out is Behind the Voice Actors. Having as many avenues as possible will give you a bigger pool to choose from so that you can find exactly what you're looking for. Now, if you don't actively use social media, I highly recommend it, even if it's just for project-related things. This will help get word out about your project, and you will hopefully gain a good following, which is always nice. There are tons of VAs on Twitter who are looking for auditions every day. What you can do is create a Google Doc with all the project and audition information and post it on Twitter using hashtags like indie game, voice acting, casting call, etc. Let's talk about what information to include on a casting call. First, your name or handle you go by, the project name and details, and the requirements for people who are auditioning. What type of file? How many takes someone can provide? I recommend 1 to 3 maximum. Separate file for each character you are auditioning for. How to label the audio file. This is mostly for your convenience, but typically it consists of character name underscore your name.mp3. Where to send the audition to. If you're posting on CCC, this isn't necessary, but provide an email for people to send the auditions to. How to label the email. Typically, name of the project, dash auditions, dash your name. Approximate number of lines or time length of lines so that people know how much they'll be putting into the project. Recording setup, including mic, preamp, software, and anything else relevant. This is only helpful if you know about this type of stuff. Otherwise, you'll be able to tell the quality just by listening to the audition files. Compensation. We'll talk about this in a little bit. Next, what to include on the actual lines for the audition. For each character, provide a good variety of lines that showcase different emotions or ranges of the character. I would say around 3 audition lines is a good amount. If they are shorter, it's fine to do up to maybe 9 to 12, but don't make it too long or you'll lose out on auditions and you'll have to listen to a lot of audio. For each line, provide any directorial notes like emotion or some context of the line so that the actors know what you're looking for. Also, make sure that you specify what voice type you are looking for each character. For example, gender, age, voice type, low, medium, high pitch, accent, any specific descriptors like monotone, high energy, booming, young, smooth, etc. Real quick, don't forget NDAs. If there are things you don't want the actors to publicize, just make sure to have them sign a non-disclosure agreement, which can be as short as a paragraph or an actual legal document. Okay, now let's talk money. Always be upfront about pricing. Depending on your project and whether you want full voice acting or just reaction sounds, you can find talent ranging anywhere from free to hundreds of dollars. The more money you are willing to pay, the higher the quality of the talent you will get auditioning. However, there are many amateur VAs who are willing to voice in projects for free so that they can build their resumes. As far as standard rates for lines, there isn't really a set standard. You can negotiate with your actors on this and reach a fair price. Typically, there are projects that will pay anywhere from 10 cents to 25 cents a word, or $1 to $3 a line. Or if you do live direction, you can also pay by the hour. $75 to $200 an hour are very good prices for the actor. But if that's too much, don't worry. As long as you are upfront about everything at the beginning of the process, you will be able to find the actors you need for your project. Some projects even specify how many words or lines a character will have and have a total amount per project of how much each character gets paid. I've seen anywhere from $5 to $500 depending on the quantity of lines, and it can be even more on the industry projects. One last thing about casting. If you feel like this is overwhelming and not really your cup of tea, there are people out there who you can hire to be your casting director or voiceover director. They can handle setting up the casting call and work with the actors to make sure all the lines are received in a timely manner. Sometimes it's best to let someone who understands the process as well as has experience directing actors to take care of the casting and performance side. If this is something you may be thinking about, I'm more than willing to discuss it further, or you can contact amberstonestudios.com. And if you have any questions about anything, I am always available to answer by email or on Twitter. My email is unaverageamerican@gmail.com and my Twitter is @Cryshulvo. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this information was helpful. I tried my best to keep it as concise and brief as possible. There's still a lot more I could say about this, so again, don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Okay. So I see a question. How do you enforce an NDA or contract when the talent is international? That's a very good question that I don't really have an answer for. But I would suggest looking up information about different laws in your country as well as the other countries so that you can better understand what steps you might have to take. And yeah, like I said, it was a little fast, so sorry about that. I wanted to get as much as I could in there.
Well, there'll be a recording afterwards, so they should
Yes.
be able to go back. So it's
Yeah, you can
not
go
the-
watch the recording and slow it down.
All right. Any more questions? Technically, we have lunch after this, so this can
Yeah.
we can just set the mics free if whatever.
How I enforce NDAs. So in terms of setup, I wanted to say this. The microphone might not be as important as the area that the actor is recording in. So just because they don't necessarily have the best equipment doesn't mean that they won't have a good enough sound to use. There are plenty of voice actors who use USB mics even for national commercial television. So don't let that fool you in thinking that, oh, the higher the price of the equipment, the higher the audio. That's not necessarily always the case. Let's see. Oh yeah, somebody was mentioning earlier about, not having money for hiring a director. It would never hurt to at least even contact a director and ask them some things and maybe see if they could do some kind of consultation with you to give you some ideas or pointers, or maybe work with you a little bit. Maybe they can't commit everything if there's no payment involved, but I think everyone would be willing to at least answer questions and help you as much as they could. So don't ever be afraid or shy to contact a voice director or a casting director. I'm sure if you have any questions, there are tons of people that have presented that could answer any questions related to voiceover, recording, directing. I'm sure between all of us, we've got a plethora of experience and knowledge. And you might not always get the same answer because we all come from different backgrounds, and we all have different ideas. Another question: do you get quality responses from Casting Call Club? Most of what I've seen has been painfully amateur, lots of unpaid stuff, fan projects, etc. I have gotten some very high quality auditions from Casting Call Club, surprisingly, like some really, really good ones. There are some professional VOs who are on that website, and I've been lucky enough to be able to work with a few of them. Most of them are amateur, and some of them are bad, but that happens. But there are some good ones too. There are decent ones. There's a whole bunch of different ones. So it's definitely worth putting it out there and seeing what you get. Especially if you have, if you have a really good project, a good idea, and you have good art, you're going to get a lot of auditions. In the description, you can specify what you're looking for. If you need 18 plus, make sure you say that. If you need a certain type of sound, like no background sound, no fuzzy, no static, all of that, you can mention that. Some people still will audition without regards to any of that, but what can you do?